Welcome, dear viewer, to another episode of the movie show brought to you by Odeon Cinemas, who are showing the classic Dustin Hoffman movie The Graduate in selected cinemas. Check out odeoncinemas.ie for details on that. This week we're talking horror, It Comes at Night, and the blockbuster Spider-Man Homecoming. Our competition this week is for premiere tickets to one of the most anticipated films of the year, Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk, on July 21st in Dublin City Centre. To win, tell us one of the Irish stars of that film. Dunkirk looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And it's only a few weeks away now as well.
So excited for it.
I'm dying to see it. I'm one of the shortest movies. It's like an hour 45 minutes
Yeah, it's
long.
crazy, isn't it? Like, I mean, I was kind of wondering like how they're going to fit that much in. Because it looks like there's a load of things going on with it, but how they're going to fit that all into like an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, it looks insane.
We can trust Christopher Nolan.
You can not go 100%.
Yeah.
We can trust Christopher Nolan. We can't not talk about, I think, I know he's before your time, D, but the best of the best for what we do, Brian.
Yeah.
Barry Norman passed away on Sunday, 83.
83, yeah, and apparently he died in his sleep, and you know he'd been retired for a good few years by that stage, you know. But there's a bit, just if you want to know, well, like, I mean, obviously, you know, he was like really, really smart, very kind of witty and dry, but he was never, you know, the way like we kind of like have a bit of a kind of I don't know about you, but I certainly do, and have a chip on our shoulder for critics that are sort of like needlessly
I'll hold my hands up right now. I don't like movie critics.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 11 years.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to you either.
Yeah.
Do not like movie
No,
critics.
but yeah, they can be very. They
I
can be
like
very.
him a lot though.
Yeah.
He's so fair.
Yeah, they can be very snobby, is the point. Whereas Barry Norman could like talk about aliens, or he could talk about like Star Wars, he could talk about any of these films, and then talk about some French subtitle film in the same sentence and be just as passionate about both,
And
you know?
why not?
And why not? But there was another, just final point as well. There's a brilliant interview up on YouTube, if you look it up, when he interviewed, I think it was Harrison Ford, I think it was around the time of Witness, or maybe Mosquito Coast. And we were saying this.
85,
85, 86,
peak Harrison Ford.
Yeah. And, you know, you've interviewed Harrison Ford.
And he's a bit of a bollocks.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
He
He's
is.
just,
I mean, like, he's not an easy interview.
not in the slightest. And, like,
And he enjoys that. He enjoys, I think it's his angle.
yeah,
you know,
that's
like,
it. That's his whole thing. But, like, Barry Norman makes it look really easy and actually gets him to talk and kind of open up a bit. And that's, like I say, anyone who's interviewed Harrison Ford or knows what he's like to interview, they'll know how difficult
Yeah,
it is. And Barry Norman made it look so effortless.
I saw when you tweeted that. You know, it did occur to me as well because I interviewed him for Cowboys and
Aliens.
Cowboys and Aliens, which I mean, to be fair, probably just wasn't into it
No.
anymore. But there's a lovely video that BBC Archives put up.
Yeah.
He retired in '98 and he went to Sky, and Jonathan Ross took over. And I actually quite liked Jonathan Ross as well.
Yeah, he was
As a
alright,
reviewer.
but he was
always,
copying him, though.
He was always fair. I
Yeah.
felt he was always fair. Probably broader sensibilities than Barry Norman, although I thought Norman was fair a lot too. But there's a lovely interview. BBC Archives Facebook and Twitter page put out this tribute from 1998 when he left in '98, and I can't recommend it enough. If you're not acutely aware of Norman and his work and all the stuff that he's done, absolutely do go and check it out. But rest in peace, phenomenal at what he does, and he's been the bar for us
Jesus,
since
completely.
day one. Okay, we're kicking off news from an Instagram post this week, D. We're so meta. We're so we're so millennial. Sylvester Stallone D posted on his Instagram. He knew what he was doing. He obviously knew what he was doing. Tell us, tell the people at home what he did.
So basically, he posted up this photoshopped image which has Michael B. Jordan as Adonis Creed facing off with Drago from Rocky IV, and he kind of captioned it like "sins of the father" and like will they face off again and stuff like this. So basically, he's kind of building up. Oh yeah, and he added the hashtag Creed 2.
Yeah.
So I
I
mean,
need to underline it, Sly. Where's the subtlety?
Yeah,
where's the subtlety?
where's the subtlety?
Yeah.
Well, I think that what has basically happened here is that like Creed 2 has kind of fallen a bit by the wayside. It has been announced that there's going to be a sequel to Creed, but just nothing has happened with it yet.
That bit of buzz, that momentum.
Yeah,
Yeah, you wanna
exactly.
keep that going.
And the thing is like it's very well timed here as well because we have Black Panther coming out, and Black Panther is the reason why it hasn't gone into production yet because Michael B. Jordan is obviously
Ryan
playing the
Coogler
villain
as
in
well,
that. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's basically just to like build up excitement for it again. I mean, for all we know, he could be completely trolling us.
Yeah.
And he could just be saying all this to basically get the production into gear again, basically
Yeah.
be egging on
Look around the lights
producers
they
and
got.
stuff.
Well, I mean, what way would they do this? He's not gonna have Michael B. Jordan fighting
Dolph Lundgren.
No,
No, not at all. Although, to be fair though, Dolph Lundgren is still in good nick, but like you
Got
couldn't.
it. Dolph Lundgren's son. It's Conor McGregor.
Do you know
Russian
what?
accents.
Do you know what?
You
You
should-
you laugh.
We're just dropping
Where's
knowledge
that?
here every week.
That could happen.
The
though.
Hollywood's job for them. But Connor can act.
Yeah, he can act, and plus, so keep in mind they had Tony Bellew for the first one,
Yeah.
like, you know, that sort of way. So they could. It's not. It's
So
not. unheard
Drago
of.
in disgrace moved
Yeah.
to Dublin, moved to Ireland, met a woman, had a child. That child turned out to be Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
So we can keep the Dublin
Yeah,
accents.
yeah. And plus as
Like-
well, you could even do the whole like the Vori Sakonia thing, like, you know, like the Russian mob. They all have like the tattoos, like from Eastern Promises. Conor McGregor has all the tattoos. Tell you, this thing writes itself.
does, doesn't it?
It writes itself. I don't know. Conor McGregor, like, I mean, I suppose like the whole Mayweather thing, that'll kind of decide whether or not he.
Well,
you know,
McGregor turned down Predators. He was offered
Yeah.
a serious role in Predators, which is
And
Shane Black.
Triple X 2 as
Yeah,
well.
well,
or
Triple X
3,
2 was like,
three,
ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah.
Well, whatever about Triple X, it's bad
Dog
film.
shit. Yeah.
Predators is Shane Black.
Yeah, that's a
It'll be
big
very,
role.
very good, and Shane Black knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Shane Black was was for his first movie, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, gave Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
kind of a second swing at things, which then led to Iron Man and where Robert Downey Jr. is now. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a very good film. And the
Yeah.
fact that Black saw him as somebody. Look,
he
we're
could
just
put into it.
completely working on a prayerful year.
No, but like,
we're working on absolute fumes this week, lads, for movie news.
But in fairness, though, like, you go back and you look at Predator, like, Jesse the Body Ventura was still a wrestler at that stage.
fair point.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, he, like, in terms of, like, just getting character actors, or not even character actors, but actors that have this really strong physical presence, you know, like, it's worked in the past. Like I said, Jesse Ventura was one. Your man Carl Weathers as well, like, he was, like, he did a lot of, like, I think he did football or something like that before
Yeah.
he became an actor as well, or something. I don't know. So, like, it's not unheard of to get somebody like Conor McGregor into this.
It makes sense. I hadn't thought about it in the sense of the Jesse Ventura
Yeah.
thing. It would have made perfect sense.
Yeah.
But apparently it was quite a fairly high up role. Anyway,
Yeah.
look, Creed 2, it's going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first film's cracking. Sylvester Stallone should have won an Oscar for that.
He
as
should
well.
have. Oh, that he was just so robbed. And, like, did you see that thing about afterwards? Like, Frank Stallone got on Twitter
Oh,
and
yeah,
just
yeah.
like ripped, absolutely tore into Mark Rylance. He was like, "My brother should have won this," and he should have. He was
Yeah.
robbed.
Rylance is a great actor, but yeah.
He should, absolutely.
Who's in
like-
Dunkirk as well, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's right too. Yeah, yeah.
Comment
he plays
below
it,
with the Irish stars of Dunkirk, and you could see this segues.
Yes.
See this
So,
shit.
it's so
Yes.
so.
We can get this in
smooth.
Donnybrook.
So smooth, so smooth.
Okay, we're going to move on to reviews now. I've been really looking forward to this one because I'm a big fan of Joel Edgerton, and him in a genre movie. The last time I seen him in a genre movie anyway, he directed it was The Gift. This is
Okay.
It Comes at Night, and it
Yes.
looks terrifying.
Yeah, it was really, really scary. Like, I'm not good with horror movies as it is, but like, I was full on edge. Like, my heart was like pounding for certain bits of it. It's really, really well done, and it's kind of like horror / psychological thriller because there are ways that it's shot and way that the sound is edited that you're full on just you don't know what's coming, and like it has you really, really on edge and like nervous. You know?
What's the setup? It's a cabin in the woods
Yeah.
type setup, is it?
So it's a cabin in the woods. Basically, something has happened. The family aren't totally sure, but there seems to be some kind of disease that's been spreading throughout the cities of the world. So they've decided to move to the countryside, and they're just living there. So it's Joel Edgerton, his wife, and his son, and then basically another man kind of comes along and says, "Can you help me out?" And he eventually brings his family to live in the house with them. But like paranoia and
I get you.
competition ensues.
and does shit
yeah.
come at night? Does stuff come at night?
Does it come at night?
Um,
What is it that
Come at
comes
night?
at night?
What is it that comes at
That
night?
would be a giveaway, so I can't say. But there's, I mean, the nighttime scenes are like shot absolutely fantastically. Like, if you're looking for a horror movie that like genuinely just like scares you and has you on edge, like this is the best I've seen in a while. That genuinely like haunts you. You know?
Yeah, because there have been a couple of films in the past few years that had kind of not reinvented the horror genre, but kind of played with that 80s Wes Craven vibe.
Oh yeah, completely.
It Follows, The
Yeah.
Guest.
Yeah.
So
And there was another one recently as well, The Void as well.
yeah,
That was that real kind of like, just sort of like taking kind of like tropes from the 80s, but then kind of funneling it through a sort of like post kind of being aware of itself,
Yeah.
like kind of aware of the fact that you've probably seen this film before, you've seen
we're
this
going to
setup
spin that on
1,000
its head
times.
a little bit.
Now we're going to change it up, like, that
Yeah.
kind of way. So it's really cool.
It's
What about-
something I've brought up in like my own review. I really think that now is the time of the horror, of the psychological thriller, because you even had like Get Out,
Yeah.
is kind of the best movie
Social
of this year.
conscious, yeah.
Split,
Yeah.
Raw, I absolutely loved. Remember, I was talking.
You were a
about
huge
Raw
fan
last
of
year.
Raw,
I
yeah.
loved Raw. I
Loved
still think it's the best movie I've seen so far this year. I have
Wow.
to say. So it's really kind of the time for horror.
I'm
now,
actually
I
on
think.
a side note. I'm seeing The Big Sick on Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
And I am
I'm
really
excited for
dying to see
that.
that. It looks
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
The reviews have been phenomenal, and it's Apatow as well. And when he does these right, he's producing. He does them.
Yeah.
He does them very, very right. What's Edgerton liking it? Is he good?
I
Don't
really,
break our
really
hearts.
like him.
Don't break our hearts.
What I really like about
He's our
him,
James Bond, Brian.
Yeah, he is. Telling him, we're gonna make that happen. We're gonna make it happen.
I've talked before about how I really like kind of the classic Hollywood, and he just reminds me of that classic Hollywood actor in that he's just so immediately charismatic. He appeals to men, he appeals to women. He has real kind of presence and authority, but he's also like protective. So I really, really liked him in
Kind
this.
of like
I
Paul
saw him
Newman,
in-
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
Paul
a
Newman.
phenomenal description. It really
Yeah.
is, and I
I
think
really,
you're,
really
I
like
think you're
him
dead
in
on
this,
there
yeah.
as well. Because even in Warrior, he had that. There's a
Fraternal.
vulnerability there, but but he's strong and muscly. But
Exactly.
and he's Australian as well. So he has to, for the most part, he's doing the American accent all the time. That's flawless. Most people will assume
Yeah.
he's American.
Yeah,
And
I
if-
did not know that.
There you go. And a very, very good director as well. Check out The Gift if you haven't seen The Gift. It's tight as hell. Rebecca Hall, Jason Bateman, really good director. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what he does when he steps behind the camera as well. He's just multi-talented.
Yes.
We've got a
Oh,
John
yeah.
Wick. We've got a John Wick style crush on Joel Edgerton.
I
Brian.
tell you what, though, I mean, he is. I think he's one of these actors. I think that is really underrated. You know, that
Yeah.
kind of way. People don't kind of see the talent that he has because he's so good at underplaying it. You know, that kind
He's
of
an
way.
unusual looking guy as well
Yeah.
for a leading
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he doesn't have like he's not like Tom Cruise or something like that where you immediately see a leading man in him.
And he's probably
But-
over 5'7" as well.
Yeah, there's
And
an
not
element to
mental.
that as well. Yeah, that's the thing though. All actors are tiny. Like that's people forget that. They're all
Anyway,
tiny people.
one of the biggest movies of the year. It's projected to do over 100 million at the US box office when it opens this weekend. Spider-Man: Homecoming, Brian.
Yeah, this is really good. This is like really, really good. And like, I was coming into this thinking, okay, it's going to be another Marvel film. I'm expecting this just to be fine. You know, I am not.
Doctor
gonna...
Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is in like, yeah, it's not
yeah.
going to set the world on fire. It's not going to be amazing. It's not going to like reinvent the wheel. It's just going to be a serviceable blockbuster film that'll probably make in and around 90 to 100 million on its opening weekend or something, and then
Yeah.
it'll carry on a bit. Now this is really, really good. This is like the closest I've seen to a John Hughes film in years.
You mentioned John Hughes a lot
Yeah.
in your. Okay, what's the setup? It's Homecoming.
Right, so
it's
so the setup is basically
Avengers, the last Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Peter Parker popped up in that. so
and now it's him essentially kind of waiting to be called by the Avengers so that he can, join their ranks and become a fully fledged superhero. The thing of it is, though, he's 16 years old. He's still in school. He still has all the problems he has to contend with in high school, as in, girls,
Hormones.
hormones and all that, and then his hot Aunt May, played by Marissa Tomei. And like, I'm making that joke. No, I'm making that joke. It's in the film all the time, so it's not me being
Yeah.
sexist. It's in the film all the time, and it's hilarious as well. Like they really do it because like, there's a scene in it, and I just not give this away, but there's a scene in it where he goes into this like the local deli or whatever. And like the guy behind the counter is like just turns around and goes, "This is the kid with the hot hand," and it's just like it's really well done.
This is a director, Brian, who John Watts is.
John Watts, yeah,
He's not used to this huge platform,
No.
this big platform.
yeah.
But Robert Downey Jr. is saying he came on board, well, in a big way for him and trusted him
Yeah.
because he, his last movie.
Cop Car,
Cop Car.
yeah.
And so how does he do? How does he do tonally? Balances all
Really
that?
well.
'Cause the effects are obviously a huge thing.
Yeah, of course, yeah. The effects are going to play a huge part in it, but I think what makes this film so different from the likes of like Doctor Strange or
Yeah.
Thor: The Dark World or any of the kind of meh Iron Man films is that it has a tone and it has.
I think our TV editor is going to have a.
Please don't die, Fiona.
Please don't die. You have
Don't
to. You have to run the site while we're doing this. Sorry, Brian. Go on.
yeah, no, but it's kind of like
Game of Thrones show coming soon, Fiona. Game of Thrones show coming
we're
soon.
plugging it. I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Yeah, so tone. He gets it in the sense that it's very much like he plays it like a teen drama.
Yeah.
that kind of way.
That happens to be a superhero.
That just happens to have superhero elements in it. Like, the characters in it, they're not, like, he's not talking down to the characters and he's not talking up to them. He's, like, speaking on their level. And like a lot of teenagers, Peter Parker just wants to prove himself. He just wants to be shown that I can be an
he's
adult.
got that mentor relationship then with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, but, like,
Tony
Robert
Stark.
Downey Jr. only, he's only ever in it a couple of times. And they even kind of make a little kind of a joke of the fact that, he's never there. Like, I mean, one of the scenes in it where, like, Iron Man turns up, it's just an Iron Man robot, but he's talking through him, if you know that kind of way.
That's when it's in the trailer. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I know you haven't seen it, but when Robert Downey Jr. turns up in one of these movies, they earn insane money.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
a-
That's why he's there.
that is totally why he's
That's
there,
he's
isn't
there
it?
for his paycheck, yeah.
But that back and
and
forth
his
seems-
and the whole deals thing, you know, he has to make so many movies with Marvel. So
Robert Downey Jr. must be able to buy and sell everybody's ass with this Avengers deal,
Yep.
with this Marvel
Yep.
deal.
Yeah, like
What's Jon Favreau like?
really good, really good.
Favorite ever interview. That man is a legend. I love that guy.
I must actually go and try and dig that up because like
Just need like.
but
I know stuff about you, John. Let's be friends.
I know your favorite character. Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, he's really good in it. He is in it more than Robert Downey Jr. is in it.
And he
obviously.
deserves a huge amount of credit, D, for what he did with the Marvel. He set the template with the first Iron Man
Oh,
movie
yeah.
that all of this was built on.
Yeah.
And now he's like making Disney billions.
Yeah.
with the live
Pretty
action
nice.
stuff with the first Jungle Book. Like
Yeah.
how like I mean whatever about his performance in Spider-Man: Homecoming, I think he's a deadly actor. I love him. Swingers Again, it's my favorite movie.
Yes.
As a director, he deserves a huge amount of credit, doesn't he? He's
yeah,
super
definitely.
versatile as well.
And I know it's super random, but I am going to give Elf a shout out because it is one
Elf
of
is
the best
brilliant.
recent Christmas movies. Has to be said.
I'll
So,
give you.
yes.
I got a bit of Elf trivia, a bit of Mike
yeah.
Elf trivia.
I know this.
You know this story.
I do know this
and
story.
I told
Tell
Jon
it
Favreau
anyway.
this story afterwards, but they jumped on him and were doing makeup, and I was like, "You're messing with our connection." My first time ever in New York was 2002, and it was winter. It was super snowy, and we were trying to find the Empire State Building because I was like in college on a moron, still am a moron. Came out, walked onto Fifth Avenue, was like, "Where's the Empire State Building?" And it was there, obviously, right?
Right.
So I seen this commotion outside the Empire State Building. They were shooting the scene from Elf, where Will Ferrell gets thrown out.
Nice.
So I stood there for like an hour and a half. Just I didn't. Will Ferrell's awesome, obviously, but I could care less. Old school hadn't come out, and just got the look at Jon Favreau like while he was directing the scene from Elf. So Elf has stood the test of time though as well.
It really has. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's up there with like classics, which is saying something because you're comparing it to movies that like, you know, have nostalgic from like 80s, 90s,
Yeah.
even earlier, like, you know, the likes of It's a Wonderful Life. And it's still up there in like
Yeah.
people's top.
And they never went back and made a sequel as well, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
Brian's a setup for sequels. Spider-Man: Homecoming set up for a sequel.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, the kind of it's. I mean, you know where
This
it's
is,
going
this
to
is
end
Sony's
up.
paycheck. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
this is. But I mean, see, this is the thing, right? Sony are in a really precarious position right now because apparently this is the only film that's going to be in the MCU, which is like Marvel Disney Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Then after that, then they're going off on their own. So they've got to try and maintain the level of goodwill that this film has generated and maintain the same like they need to keep it consistent, right? So that means getting John Watts back to direct the sequel, I would think.
You would assume there's an option there. They're not going to make that Patty Jenkins mistake.
Yeah. I would hope that they would anyway. But also as well, the fact that, you know, in this film, they don't bother with the whole, what's the word? Origin stories and like how did he come to have the superpowers? What happened with Uncle Ben? They all like
Everybody knows.
Yeah, we know.
Everybody
Yeah,
knows.
yeah.
That's it. They smartly say, look, everybody knows what happened with Uncle Ben. We all know this. We don't need to deal with
I
this.
just think of
again.
Rice when I hear Uncle Ben now as well.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. And you're just
ruining
All
it for
those
everybody.
memes.
Yeah,
Have you
it's
seen
just
those?
like
Oh, God, they're
again,
hilarious.
yeah. So smartly, they kind of bypassed all that in this one. So if they go into the second one, they need to keep ignoring that
Yeah.
part of it and just continue on with the
So I
story.
believe you're going to be quoted all over the world, Brian, in your press for this.
Well,
Such a poster whore.
Yeah.
Such a poster whore. Dude.
here,
Well, hang
I'm
on,
never
calm
on.
down,
I'm never on
calm
post.
down. Brian is off the smokes, lads. He's a bit like if you've seen it, go back and watch last week's show to see how he dressed. How long were you off to?
I was off them about like 3. I think I was off them about 3 days.
You were
You
dressed
look
like,
like you were in mourning.
I
yeah,
was
he
in
was
mourning.
dressed like
I
if
was
daddy
in mourning.
issues were an outfit. That's what he
Yeah.
was dressed like. So anyway, Brian, sum it up for us like you would in a poster. Go.
No, it's really good. It's really fun. It's really has a really good sense of humor about itself. Michael Keaton is great in it, by the way.
Michael
Best-
Keaton, of course,
I love that
yeah.
guy.
Best Marvel villain I have seen probably ever. He is really that good at it. Like, it's Michael Keaton, of course.
Oh, he's amazing. He's such a good actor.
He's just so good. Like, he's such a good actor. Like, and he's so natural about it, and he's just like believable. Like, he actually manages to make a Marvel villain believable. Like,
Yeah.
you could actually relate to what his problems are.
Yeah, so we'll finish up there, but I will say check out Michael Keaton on Stephen Colbert. He doesn't give a shit. He's like,
Oh, he's so good. Like,
he's like, so who do you play in this film? He's like, Spider-Man. He's like, obviously, like he just
Duh.
he plays with the whole idea that people have of him and his character. And he's such a good actor as
Yeah.
well. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm gonna go see that next week.
do.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes. That's
Yeah.
this one, Brian, isn't
No,
it?
No,
War for the
War
Planet.
of the Planet of the Apes. Sorry,
Yes.
I'm punching ahead way too many times. Serena Blissman, we have an interview with Matt Reeves, who directed that film. It's getting absolutely phenomenal
Yeah.
reviews. Matt Reeves is also directing the Batman, the Ben Affleck Batman movie too. So tune back in next week for that interview with Matt Reeves, and we'll be talking War of the Planet of the Apes.
War
for the Planet of the Apes.
War for the Planet
Jesus
of
Christ,
the
that's
Apes.
a mouthful. Thanks so much for joining us, folks, and we'll see you next Thursday here at 9 p.m.